Good day, everyone. I am Sir Leonard John Carillo, and I will be talking about exercise-based fitness under PATFIT 2, Lesson 1, Fuel for Performance. We already discussed what fuel for performance is, right? I already asked you what fuel is in this context. Now I will be teaching you, or I will be explaining to you the process, the very process of the fuel inside our body. Like this. Um, okay. Fueling for performance, or the fuel for performance, is the act of eating foods or supplements during specific time windows to help maximize performance and support recovery in a certain activity. Meaning, naamoy kaunon before mag-start ang inyong event nga dulaan. For example, naamoy liga nga apilan, days before leading to that activity, you are going to eat specific foods for you to be able to accomplish it. Okay. Now, different activities may require various fueling strategies depending. No, it will depend on number of different factors such as the event duration and the intensity. So for example, kung dance competition, lahi pud siya nga intensity, right? If moapil mo og sports, lahi pud siya nga intensity. So it will depend, no? Dili ingon nga if you're going to eat chocolates for the whole week just to boost your energy, dili pasabot nga it is also okay for sports. So siguro pwede siya sa dancing, but for sports, posible nga dili. No, it might depend. It will depend. Next, uh, while looking at various fueling strategies, much of the attention is on acute fueling. But it is important to remember that our day-to-day nutrition habits play play a very important part in the weeks leading up an event. No, dili lang po siya sa event. It is also applicable sa ato ang kinabuhi. Now, for example, you are preparing to be like Ivana Alawi. Sige, gapaningkamot ka may mong Ivana Alawi, himuhang lawa. So, of course, you need to have a balanced diet and you should always exercise. Especially if niwang kay ka or same-same sa ko nga, dako-dako na gid mo. No? You're going to maintain or have proper diet. Okay. Next is what is acute fueling? Acute fueling strategies are short-term modifications to your diet in the time close to your event. Again ha, short-term modification. Dili siya pasabot nga if you're going to modify your diet this week, you're also going to apply that for the next. Because acute fueling strategies are short-term. Meaning, your diet is in time, you have modifications to your diet in time close to your event. Pero normal lang nga panginabuhi, normal lang nga event, like you're just going to school, syempre you're just going to eat anang usual ni mga ginakaon, no? But for specific activities again, you are modifying it. So that is for acute fueling strategies. Now, this may be hours or days pre or before or post or after the event that you are participating in. No? It will also include the days leading up to the event. Anang hinahinay nga padulong sa inyong event. We also have this term, carbohydrate loading. No? Sa may pasabot sa carbohydrate loading. Magload patag carbohydrates sa tong lawas? No, dili siya nga na. Carbohydrate loading is is an example of fueling strategy. Later, we are going to talk about carbohydrate loading. But sa term pa lang niya daan, meaning magkaon gyud ta og daghan nga carbohydrates. Unsa man ning carbohydrates? We have bread, rice, and uban pa. Okay? Next is energy. So what is energy? Unsa man gyud ni energy nga naa sa tuang lawas? Yes, it is the ability to do work. Without energy, dili makalihok og tarong ato ang lawas. Mo bitaw nang kung wala tay kaon, wala tay gana, wala tay kusog. Okay? It is needed by the body for movement. If wala tay energy, we can't move a muscle. It comes from three main nutrients: carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Sige, carbohydrates is the most important energy source. Labi na sa tuwa Filipinos, no? Asian. Common sa tuwa ang rice. Sakto ba ko? Kasi dili hilig og rice dere. Every one of us, labi na tong naanad gyud og mga on og rice. Not unless no if American ta, di kita hilig og rice. But they also, they still eat carbohydrates coming from mga root crops like kamote, mga ingana ila dito, or potatoes. Mo na ilahang source of carbohydrates. Dili kay sila hing rice. But let's talk about nutrition first. So what is nutrition? I guess we don't have nutrition here. Okay, nutrition is the study of nutrients in food, how the body uses them or utilizes them, and the relationship and its relationship between diet, health, and disease sa inyong lawas. Nutritionists use ideas from molecular biology, biochemistry, and genetics to understand how nutrients affect the human body. Nagatuo ba mo nga makaapekto ang nutrients sa tong lawas? Yes, it can. It will really affect us, especially if dili sakto ang atong nutrition. Okay? Nutrition also focuses on how people can use dietary choices to reduce the risk of disease. Meaning they are using nutrition or food in general to put away themselves from diseases. No? Ilang tabangan ilang selves through food. No, dili sila pasaya-saya lag kaon nga mo kaon tag mang inasal, kaon tag pito ka cups nga rice. You think that is healthy? Dili, pero I am also doing that. Kalami ra mo kaon. Sunod, nutrients. Nutrients provide nourishment na atay proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. We also have vitamins, minerals, fiber, water. Those are all nutrients. If people do not have the right balance of nutrients in their diet, their risk of developing certain health conditions increases. Mo na nitong giingon nga all food, tanan food nga naa sa kalibutan healthy. Bisan pa man og hotdog na, bisan pa man og junk food na, it is still healthy. But again, if you are a conservative, syempre dili gid siya healthy. Kaya syempre na siya mga preservatives, taas kay siya og salt content nga dili pud siya maayo sa lawas. Pero butang tala nga um healthy tanan food, no? Healthy siya, but when it comes to eating too much, meaning dili na pud siya healthy. Bisan pag mukaon mo sobra-sobra nga utan, dili siya healthy. Okay, bisan pa mukaon mo too much nga karne, kana labaw, makataas og uric, maka kuan pagid siya, maka cause of breakouts, no? So mo siyang need gid nato to balance our diet. Char. Okay. Um, Nutrition is a three-part process, meaning tulo ka buk iyang process. First is food or drink is consumed, meaning ginakaon na to ang pagkaon. Syempre, diha man gina magsugutanan. Sunod, the body breaks down the food or drinks into nutrients. Third, the nutrients travel through the bloodstream to different parts of the body where they are used as fuel or energy. No, and for many other purposes. Now, to give the body proper nutrition, a person has to eat and drink enough of the foods that contain key nutrients. So again, you should always choose proper food or katong mga importante nga pagkaon nga nutrition wise taas gid siya og content, no? Bisan pag mubo pa na or taas na siya calorie, you should always consider its nutritional value. Again, ang nutritional value is um an importance placed upon the food. For example, burger, i-compare nimo siya sa broccoli, kinsay mas taas og nutritional value? Ang broccoli. So syempre dito ta sa broccoli. Pwede rin mo kaog burger basta dili magpalabi. Ah. Next is ATP or adenosine triphosphate. Unsa maning ATP di ay? So ano naabot naman ta og biology. ATP is the source of energy for use and storage at the cellular level. Although I don't need to expound everything about ATP, I just want you to understand its purpose and how it is formed. Adenosine triphosphate is the source of, again, source of energy for use and storage at the cellular level. And as you can see, the structure of ATP is a nucleoside triphosphate. It's here. Let's use our annotate draw. Ano naman to? Nucleoside triphosphate. Pani siya diri ang apart. Diri. We also have uh, adenine. It consists of adenine or the adenosine. We also have the nitrogenous base. No, sorry, the ribose sugar or this one here. It has five, no? Five sugar, also known as a ribose sugar, and three serially bonded phosphate groups. Mo siyang gitawag og triphosphate, no? Tulo ka buok phosphate bonds ang naa diri ah. But again, we don't need to expound it more. Ano lang, sabto lang nato unsa siya. Next is, where are we? So ATP is commonly referred to as the energy currency of the cell. Kung sa tao pa, ato ang currency diri sa Philippines is peso, right? Sa lawas naman, dili kwarta iyang kinahanglan para mulihok siya. A. It needs ATP. Because again, ATP is the energy currency of the cell. As it provides readily releasable, again, it provides readily releasable energy in the bond between the second and third phosphate groups. In addition to providing energy, the breakdown of ATP through hydrolysis, again, hydrolysis is the process of breaking down ATP, serves a broad range of cell functions, including signaling and DNA RNA synthesis. Kana siya lisod-lisod na nato siya sabto no kay it is complex. Mas lisod siya nga part sa PE. No, bago lang ni siya gidungag nato kaning fuel for performance. But again, we don't need to delve deeper. Okay? ATP synthesis utilizes energy obtained from multiple catabolic mechanisms, including cellular respiration, beta oxidation, and ketosis. Now, kaning ketosis, this uses fats. Now, fat sa body as energy, especially if wala na siya makuhaan o energy source, mo na siya ginagamit na ni siya as diet. Mo na siya ginatawag nga ketogenic diet wherein mostly sa ilahang food is ang nutritional value is lesser but the amount of fat, good fat, may it be good or bad fat, is mao ilang ginagamit as energy. Instead nga ang carbohydrates. Ingana siya. Next is the majority of ATP synthesis occurs in cellular respiration within the mitochondrial matrix. It generates approximately 32, again it generates approximately 32 ATP molecules per molecule of glucose that is oxidized. So guba na siya utok kay murag dagko na kay atong terms nga ginapanggamit. ATP is consumed for energy in processes including ion transport, a muscle contraction, nerve impulse propagation, substrate phosphorylation, and chemical synthesis. So these processes, as well as others, create a high demand for ATP. Syempre, again, ang ATP is mao'y ginagamit sa tong body as energy. Without ATP, dili maka-function katong ako mga gi-mention properly. As a result, cells within the human body depend upon the hydrolysis. So ito again ang hydrolysis. Please comment down below what you think hydrolysis is. Bago na ito na kung ibasa, i-comment ko. 321, paki-SS. Okay, again, hydrolysis is the breaking down of ATP. Next, as a result, cells within the human body depend upon the hydrolysis of 100 to 150 moles of ATP per day to ensure proper functioning. In the forthcoming sections, ATP will undergo further evaluation of its role as a crucial molecule in the daily functioning of the cell. So that is for ATP. Again, these are just basic terms for ATP, and these are just basic facts for ATP. What you need to understand is ATP is the energy. No, again, it is the source of energy for use and storage at the cellular level. Next is energy and human life. What is energy and human life? We have this so-called metabolism. Unsa maning metabolism? Metabolism is the total amount of biomechanical reactions involved in maintaining the living condition of the cells in an organism. All living organisms require energy for different essential processes and for producing new organic substances. So for the process of energy in human life, we have first the chemical energy, which comes from the carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and others. No, when it comes inside us, it releases chemical waste, carbon dioxide, water, and it turns to ATP or the body's energy currency. Again, energy, the source of energy, ATP. And after that, metabolism happens. What is metabolism? Metabolism, again, is the total amount of biomechanical reactions involved in maintaining the living condition of the cells in an organism. No? The metabolic processes help in growth and reproduction and help in maintaining the structures of living organisms. The organisms respond to the surrounding environment due to due to metabolic activities. Mo na ilang giniingon nga, uy, paspas kasi og metabolism. Paspas kay siya mahilisan, hini kay siya mahilisan, sige siya glibang, sige siya ingana. Because it will depend on the metabolic activities that our body processes. All the chemical reactions occurring in the living organisms, from digestion to transportation of substances from cell to cell, requires energy. So again, importante ang ATP. If dili na to, wala tay proper energy, wala tay proper energy source, meaning dili maka-function og tarong atong lawas. No? We have this so-called catabolism. What is catabolism? No, catabolism and anabolism is under metabolism. Catabolism is the process which is mainly involved in breaking down larger organic molecules. Again, breaking down larger organic molecules into smaller molecules. This metabolic process releases energy. Again, catabolism releases energy when it is processing, while anabolism is the process which is mainly involved in building up or synthesizing compounds from simpler substances required by the cells. And also, this metabolic process requires and stores energy. Ang anabolism ang nag-store o nag-require og energy, while catabolism is the one releasing the energy. So you should always know the difference. Again, catabolism releases energy, while anabolism is storing up energy. So nga na lang, basic lang nato nga information about energy and human life. Now for the second question, please comment it down below. What is metabolism? Okay, and also what is catabolism and anabolism? So this will serve as your tawag ani, participation. Again, what is metabolism, catabolism, and anabolism? Okay. Also, no, metabolism is related to nutrition and the existence of nutrients. Dili pwede nga na metabolism nga walay connection sa nutrition and existence of nutrients. We also have this so-called term bioenergetics, which describes metabolism as the biochemical pathway through which the cells obtain energy. Again, ang bioenergetics ang nag-describe sa metabolism as the biochemical pathway or passage through which the cells can obtain energy. Okay, nasabtan ba? So, so simple lang niya tong discussion, no? So if you do have clarifications, please don't be shy. Pwede rin mo mag-chat sa kuha. Energy systems. Now, what are these? Sa maning mga energy systems? Kung unsay purpose sa energy system? Energy systems refer to the specific mechanisms in which energy is produced and used by your body. But we have to understand that energy systems has three systems, no? And they work synchronously, no? Magsunod na ni sila og work. First is um, we have ATP or the phosphocreatine system. Next is lactate, anaerobic glycolysis, and aerobic or oxidative system. All three energy systems are engaged during all forms of physical activity. Depende sa unsa inyong ginagamit nga system. No? Our body is actually amazing because it uses different systems when we are using energy. Simply put it this way, energy is the ability to do work, right? And this includes all human movement and activity. And you will need a lot of it when you get through not only obstacle courses or even volleyball, but also the challenging training sessions leading up to your event. Meaning, kung bisag training pa lang mo, sa training pa lang daan, very crucial na ang energy. No? Very crucial na ang inyong nutrition. Very crucial na ang mga food nga inyong ginakaon nga dapat inyong i-consider before doing an exercise or any type of activity. Sige. ATP or ATP phosphocreatine system. No, let's just note if you have notes, no. Phosphocreatine is known as its quickest form of regeneration by means of the enzyme creatine kinase. Thus, the primary function of this system is to act as a temporal energy buffer. Nevertheless, over the years, several other functions were attributed to phosphocreatine. So, unsa man gining phosphocreatine, sir? So, this is the energy system of choice sa inyong lawas for immediate forms of activity. Meaning, mga madali-dali ra nga mga activities, diri niya kuhaon ang energy. So this is an anaerobic energy system, which means, kung sa gani pasabot sa anaerobic, it does not need oxygen. Again, no, ATP PCS or ATP phosphocreatine system does not require energy because it is anaerobic. Example for this are, tara di ay. Examples for this are short, explosive events or activities lasting up to 10 seconds in duration are going to be dependent on the so-called energy system, phosphocreatine system. So again, immediate forms of activity, mga short and powerful activities such as jumping, throwing, weightlifting, punching, sprinting. Kanang mga ingana nga klase nga activity which are high intensity. For example, gisugo mo ni sir, dagan diri padulong dito in 10 seconds. So kwaon sa inyong lawas ang energy from the ATP-PC or phosphocreatine system. Again ha, high intensity o galast lang og 10 seconds ang phosphocreatine system. Next is the lactate or anaerobic glycolysis. So lactate, let's just first note this one. Number one, lactic acid is a chemical your body produces when your cells break down carbohydrates for energy. You might see it referred to as lactate. Okay, muscle cells and red blood cells make the most lactic acid. but it can come from any tissues in your body. Most people think of lactic acid in their muscles during a tough workout. So if makabantay mo, mag-exercise mo, labi nagkanapugson gud ninyo bitaw murag nay mo hapdo sa sulod. Mao na siya ang lactic acid gina-release sa inyong lawas. Okay? Ano naman ta? Number two, anaerobic glycolysis. No, tapos sa kanang lactate and anaerobic glycolysis. This serves as a means of energy production in cells that cannot produce adequate energy through oxidative phosphorylation. In poorly oxygenated tissue, glycolysis produces 2-ATP by shunting pyruvate away from mitochondria and through the lactate dehydrogenase reaction. So this energy system as well does not require oxygen. Same with phosphocreatine system. It is anaerobic. Again, it does not need oxygen. This involves converting glucose to lactate for energy. No? It does not require oxygen, and we call upon this energy system for short duration activities lasting approximately 1 to 3 minutes. So if mulapas-lapas na, what if pindagan mo diha ipapunit mo bula for 3 minutes. Of course, kwaon siya sa anaerobic glycolysis or lactate system. Examples of activities dependent on this energy system are various fields, sports, or activities requiring short bursts of high intensity activity that are often repeated. One is mga triathlon, mga marathon, or mga walking. Sut lang kayo, nasakit na ako tila ako. Or mga ultra endurance events. So gakwaon niya ang energy sa lactate system. Next, we have the aerobic or the oxidative system. So from the word itself, aerobic. Answer mo be? I want you to comment your answers below. What does aerobic mean? No, na naman tayo anaerobic ganina atong i-explain. Now, what is aerobic? 5. I-comment lang ninyo. Sige, this energy system is a slower but more efficient source of energy, syempre. Because it does require oxygen and it can utilize carbohydrates, fats, or proteins as energy sources. For example, dinagko na to activity, gipa-jogging ta mo for 30 minutes. Aman niya kuhaon ang energy. Diri sa oxidative system. Syempre makautong di ay mo mga 10 seconds lang mag-jogging in 30 seconds ay 30 minutes. Di ba dili man? Makaya din ninyo utong for 30 minutes. Kung makaya na ninyo paghimo mo inyong own system. Okay, examples of activities dependent on this energy system would be low intensity activity and endurance style events such as walking, marathons, triathlons, and namali na ko ganina. Or ultra endurance events. Sorry, namali ko. Sa lactate di ay gaina, mo din yung mga weightlifting, no? Kanina na yung mga sets. Same with our PNF and yoga. Although kato siya nag-rely rag to siya sa aerobic or oxidative system. But for lactate again, diri siya nag-focus sa circuit training, mga weightlifting, kana bitaw mga hago kay nga mga training na pinaspasay. Human push up nga 10, kay jogging diretso 10, push up na pod balik, conscious na pod mga ana. Mga lactate anaerobic glycolysis system siya gakuha energy. And again, ang aerobic oxidative system kato na ning nagalast og mga more than 3 minutes nga mga exercises. No, again, it does require oxygen. It is important to note that each system works simultaneously, meaning pasunod with one being more predominant depending on exact demands at the time. No, magdungan-dungan na sila o gamit for a while. Okay, ana ta. Ayun. So again, simultaneous sila go work, all the three systems. Again, these systems work simultaneously. So they work at the same time. Depende kung say need sa inyong lawas. Next, we have nutrition. Yeah, we have already talked about this one kanina. Balik ko na nato. Nutrition, study of nutrients in food or how the body uses them and the relationship between diet, health, and disease. No? This also focuses on how people can use dietary choices to reduce the risk of disease. And mo na siyang purpose na to. That's why we have to do meal planning for me to be able to see if you are aware of your nutrition. No, it is taking in the use of food and other nourishing material by the body. And again, we have three-part processes for nutrition. First is food or drink is consumed. Second, the body breaks down the food or drink into nutrients. Third is the nutrients travel through the bloodstream to different parts of the body where they are used as fuel and for many other purposes. Next is macronutrients and micronutrients. Macro means dagko. Micro means gagmay. Okay, macronutrients are the nutrients your body needs in larger amounts, namely carbohydrates, protein, and fat. They provide your body with energy or also known as calories. Again, nagagi ka ng energy sa calories. I mean, energy and calories are both the same thing. Macronutrients as well are the nutritive components of food that the body needs for energy to maintain the body's structure and system. That is according to Anderson Wellness. And you need all three macronutrients as part of healthy diet. So you shouldn't exclude or seriously restrict any of them. So dili pasabot nga gapaniwang mo, dili na mo carbohydrates. Kaya carbohydrates makatambok ko, no. No. Anything can make you fat. Anything can make you thin as well. As long as kabalo mo balance, kabalo mo og pila lang inyong need, muniwang or motambok ka mo. Okay? Micronutrients are the nutrients your body needs in smaller amounts. Okay, proceeds ata. Micronutrients natay carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Carbohydrates, gikan sa rice, bread, and other thing sweet or unsa ba. Carbohydrates, protein and fat. Okay, carbohydrates are stored in the muscle and liver as glycogen. So glycogen is the stored form of glucose or sugar that's made up of many connected glucose molecules. Again, glucose or sugar is your body's main source of energy. No? Mo ganin ang kabantay mo, kung gutmon mo, mag-crave gid mo og tamis. No? Kaya syempre, gapangita siya. And with regards to this, we have this so-called keto diet. Kaning keto diet is nag-rely mainly on fat. Ang ilang gina-argue is, since puno naman tagtambok sa tuang lawas, dili na ta mukaon og carbohydrates. Mao ni ang sa keto ha. Ang mahitabo is, if dili na ka mag-carbohydrates sa imong lawas, meaning, wala na siya carbohydrates ang sulod sa imong lawas. And accordingly, carbohydrates ang main source sa energy. But what if, sir, mahurot ang carbohydrates sa lawas? We still have protein and fat, right? So, syempre, mas predominant man ang fat kaysa sa protein. Ang mahitabo ko, if you are going to stop eating carbohydrates, your body will use fat as your energy. Which is why, mao ning ginagamit sa uban magpaniwang kay para mahimo silang lean. But let us take note nga magdepende na siya. What might work to him might not work sa imuha because we are all different. Again, as what I have discussed, we are all individuals differing. Lahi-lahi ta nga individuals. No, lahi-lahi tag needs, lahi-lahi ta og mga ginabuhat sa tuang kinabuhi. It comes from carbohydrates, which is a macronutrient, ang kaning glucose. And it is a preferred fuel source and is a predominant energy source for all high intensity activity. Carbohydrates should make up approximately 45% to 65% of any diet. Pero depende ni siya again ha, magdepende gina siya. Kani siya facts lang ni siya for common people. Um, our diet should consist of simple and complex carbohydrate sources. So exercises depletes glycogen stores, meaning kung mag-exercise kuno ta, ang mga glycogen stores na to magamit. Meaning if magtambok ta, magsige tag exercise, magniwang gid kita mga anak. Anak. Longer duration events, those lasting longer than 90 minutes may benefit from carbohydrate loading protocol in the days leading up the event. So, storyahan na nato ang carbohydrate loading. Carbohydrate loading is the act of an increased carbohydrate intake in the days before an event to maximize glycogen stores in the body. So what is an example for this? For example, naamoy tournament next week, no? Tournament nga magamit gid og ayo inyong lawas. Gamiton gid og ayo inyong lawas. Meaning, the more nga magamit inyong lawas, the more energy you will need. Pero what if no, wala mo nagkaon og tarong. Unya imbes ga prepare mo sa inyong event, wala na noon mo energy because you don't have enough stored energy para mo sa bisan pag-unsa ninyong pagpaningkamot sa pag-unsa mo katsada mo sayaw, wala mo proper or wala mo enough glycogen stores, wala gihapoy mahitabo sa inyong performance. Lamya gihapon mo mahitabo. No? Ingana ang nahitabo sa amo ang dancers. Amo ang dancers, siguro week before sa ilang practice, grabe na nilang kaon. While ga-practice sila, makita man ako nga very energetic, although dili kay magkadungan-dungan, pero they are still energetic. Grabe sila ka himsog pang tanawon. Mabita na magsige training magniwanga gid mo kasi syempre gakagamit inyong lawas. Pag abot na sila hang performance, natingala ko kay wa sila yung mga kusog lantawon. And I asked them if gakaon ba sila prior sa ilang event. And according to them, wala sila kaon nga tarong. Wala pagit tulog nga kaon. Ay, tulog nga kaon. Pagit tulog nga tarong. Which is why students, you always need to understand your body. No, if gutmon galing mo, kaon gid mo. And if namoy event nga padulong, kaon gid mo. Mo nila ingon nga kaon banat. Kaya wala imong magpapa. Kaon gid og banat labi naamoy event nga padulong. Because you will really benefit from it. Sige. We also have this so-called simple and complex carbohydrates. Unsa man ni sila? Complex carbohydrates take longer to digest and are more stable source of energy than simple carbohydrates. No, it depends. No, let me explain that later. Complex carbohydrates are present in foods such as bread and pasta, while simple carbohydrates are in foods such as table sugar and syrups. No? Muna siya ang mga simple carbohydrates, mga ice cream, mga candies, and uban pa. Why is it called complex? Complex carbohydrates. Complex sila because they are harder or they are more difficult to synthesize sa body. Which is why if kabantay mo, magkaon mo spaghetti, busog kay mo all day long. Dali ra mo mabusog, busog pa mo bisag gabi na kay gikan mo nagkaon og carbohydrates. It's because your body is slowly synthesizing it. While simple carbohydrates, if magkaon gani mo chocolate, other than mo spike ang inyuhang si term ani, I forgot the term. Basta kay bisan pa magkaon mo chocolate, gutmon gihapon mo dali. Labi nag fruits, no? Pero dili nagpasabot nga simple carbohydrates is lesser than complex carbohydrates. Magdepende siya, no? Having an awareness and understanding of the different types of nutrients in foods, the effects they have on your body, and how to incorporate them in your diet makes it easier to live a healthy and balanced lifestyle, which is why maminaw in tawon tana mo and basahon tana ninyo ako i-provide sa inyo ha. Inyo i-photocopy nga notes ni sir. Okay, para at least we are on the same page, masabtan na ninyo ako mga gipangyaw-yaw diri. Okay? Complex carbohydrates. Okay, what's this? What's ni? Timer. Okay. Complex carbohydrates contain longer chains of sugar molecules, which is which is why it's called complex because it has longer sugar molecules than simple carbohydrates. The body converts these sugar molecules into glucose, which it uses for energy. And again, if lesser ganin mo og glucose saved up or sa ito term na to, glucose um man to stored glycogen connected sa pinabsi makita ko na to again. Again, complex carbohydrates, uh, they have longer chain, no? Meaning complex sila. They take longer to break down and provide more lasting energy in the body than simple carbohydrates. Namo nang kabantay again mo, kung mukaon mo og bread, mabusog mo og dugay, dugay siya mahilis. No? Mas dali siya, mas efficient siya nga source of energy compared sa simple carbohydrates. Um, Pero both types of carbohydrates are often present in many foods. In addition to providing energy via glucose, these foods have many other properties that are important for health. Unsa maging mas better, ang simple carbohydrates or ang complex? To answer that is wala. Walay better sa duha because both function differently sa tuwang lawas. So carbohydrates provide the most of the body's energy. So that is a fact. As a source of energy, complex carbohydrates are better choice. However, for overall nutrition, it is more difficult to say. No, kay na may uban nga if gapaniwang mo, syempre, lesser carbohydrates gid atong kaunon. Simple carbohydrates or sugars are made up of shorter chains of molecules. That is why they are quicker to digest than complex carbohydrates. This fact means that simple carbohydrates produce a spike in blood glucose, providing the body with a short-lasting source of energy. Muna lang ginaingon nga sugar rush. If magkaon kayo mag-chocolate nga mo, ingon na sila nga, halo, feel ko energetic kay ko. No? Pero accordingly, dili daw na siya tinuod. According to a research, no, kaning initial spike in energy or also known as sugar rush, dili ni siya tinuod, labi na mukhaon tag chocolates because there was a research, where is it? In a 2019 review that included 1,259 participants, wala ko na evidence nga naga-show nga there is what we call sugar rush. Pero ang ilang na find out is if taas ka og sugar, I mean, imuhang ginakaw nga sugar, you're more prone to have an increase of fatigue for 30 to 60 minutes. Syempre, mo rise man imuhang, musaka man imuhang, o gani, um, musaka man imuhang blood glucose. So, syempre, the more nga galihok inyong lawas, the more energy nga gakagamit. Mao siguro nga ma-fatigue mo og dali. Okay? Complex carbohydrates raise blood glucose levels for longer and produce a more lasting elevation in energy. Mao nang ginatawag nila ang complex carbohydrates as mas nice nga source of energy. Syempre, if you are going to participate in a very long day of activity, syempre dito gid siya mag-rely sa carbohydrates nga complex. Anang mga simple carbohydrates, mga chocolates, para na siya sa mga ginagmay nga events. No nga, like for example, karon gikapoy na mo and you need some energy just to move. Syempre, you can eat simple carbohydrates in moderation. Um, pero we should always consider the type of food that contains the carbohydrate. importante gid siya kay di man ingon nga kani kay kuan man ni carbohydrates kaning utan kay carbohydrates man ni so pareha ra ni sila healthy depende gihapon. Some simple carbohydrates are also present in foods with low nutritional value, such as sugary drinks, kanang mga Coke, mga ana. Pero dili nagapasabot nga tanan simple carbohydrates kay bad sa lawas. Example, milk, no? Nana siya simple carbohydrates pero di siya pasabot nga bad sa lawas. Some simple carbohydrates are present in healthful foods or healthy food, such as milk and whole fruits. Labi na ng fruit. Di na pasabot nga simple carbohydrates ang naasa sa fruit, pasabot nga bad sila. Pero if ang apple gani himuon na ninyo siyang apple juice, kana siya. Lahi na po na siya nga butang. Eh syempre, inyo naman siyang gi-squeeze, nawala na ang mga fiber niya. Okay. Complex carbohydrates are also available in processed food without much nutrition. Mo nang dili gid nagpasabot nga complex carbohydrates siya, healthy na siya. So ni sila, mao ni sila ang mga refined white flour o uban pa. A good example of fiber, which is a type of complex carbohydrate and a constituent of plant-based foods, is is fiber. Ako na naingon. While complex carbohydrates are a better source of energy than simple ones, they are not necessarily healthier. So yung na siya. So let's be careful on choosing unsa nga type of food nga tong kaunon, no? And again, if you are going to add simple sugars or simple carbohydrates to your diet, it adds more calories in lesser nutritional value, no? Simple carbohydrates are sugars, no? Kabalo na taan na. They include white table sugar o uban pa nga klase nga sugar. But they also include naturally occurring sugars such as fruits, no? Fruits and milk and refined sugars added to many processed foods. There are many cases of foods that contain simple carbohydrates that are suitable for healthful diet. For example, fruits, vegetables, nga naga-contain of simple carbohydrates, but they are rich in but they are rich in micronutrients such as vitamins and minerals. So dili pasabot nga simple sugar siya, again, unhealthy siya. So kaon gyud tag fruits bahalag mahal. Simpler carbohydrates to avoid are typically in processed foods or those with added sugar. Itong candy, sugary drinks, table sugar, fruit juice concentrate, product with added sugar such as baked goods, some cereals, mga cookies, mga ingana. Next, we have protein. So proteins are made up of amino acids and functions as hormones, enzymes, and an antibody in the immune system. So they make up parts of the bodily structures like connective tissues, skin, hair, and muscle fibers. Unlike carbs, proteins don't serve as a direct source of energy. Again, dili siya direct source of energy, but it can still be used as a source of energy. But work like building blocks for other structures in the body. No? Ang protein daw, again, it is not a direct source of energy, but works like a building block for other structures in the body. So the nutritional value of a protein is measured by the quantity of essential amino acids that it contains, which varies depending on the food source. Kay naman tay isda, naman tay baboy, naaman tay baka, no, napagyud tay mga lentils. Animal products such as meat, fish that contains all of the essential amino acids are readily available here in the Philippines. No? Dali lagi na siya. Kaya naman tayo mga tamban diha. But be careful because tag-as siya og uric content. Soy products, quinoa, and the seeds of a leafy green called amaranth also contain all of different plant proteins throughout the day. Kay importante po ni siya sa mga vegetarians. Pero let us all think no nga although taas siya protein content, pero it is lesser in amino acids. no? For those looking to support muscle, it is generally recommended to eat 20 to 40 grams of protein approximately every 3 to 4 hours. Kung dato ka, pagsige, pagbalon dira og karne. The daily recommended protein intake for healthy adult is 0.8 grams per kilogram body weight. So kung 59 kilograms ka, ang imuhang ato i-compare ha. Ako kay 670 naman siguro akong timbang. 72 na akong timbang karon. So 0.8 times 72. So mga 57.6 protein or kilogram of proteins ako ang kaunon per day. Fast digesting proteins such as whey protein, kanang mga ginainom sa mga gym, are commonly consumed closer to training times. So if gym gani mo, familiar mo ani. But if dili, we don't need to explain this further. No? And the amount of protein you need depends on your weight and how much exercise you get. Kato akong gi-compute ganina nga 57.6 kilograms nga gi-base na ko sa akong body weight, magdepende to siya if ga-exercise ba ko or unsa ako ang level of fitness. Dili pasabot per me ha, ako ing ana ang ako ang pwede kaunon, ingana po kadaghan akong kaunon. Taas ganing topic nato sa fuel for performance. So bear with me. Next is fat. So fat should make up approximately 30% of your total daily dietary intake only. Again, 30% ra siya. Dili pwede magpa-labi o tambok. So fat is an abundant energy source providing 9 kilocalories per gram or 9 kcals per gram. This is more than double the amount of energy per gram that carbohydrates and protein produce. High-fat or ketogenic diets have increased in popularity in recent years. This way of eating may potentially be beneficial for ultra-endurance athletes and those fueling low-intensity activities. Pero if nara mo sa inyong balay, gahigda ra mo, dili ni siya maayo sa inyo ha. Becoming fat adapted or changing the body's primary source of fuel may take up several months of dietary modifications. Muna na akong giingon sa inyo ha ganina nga ketogenic diet wherein dili na sila nagakuha og energy sa carbohydrates or sa glycogen but from the protein itself. I mean the fat itself. So we have saturated fats and unsaturated fats. Saturated fats include a type called trans fat. This tend to stay solid and can cause fatty deposits in blood vessels, leading to atherosclerosis. No, kaning mga saturated fats mo ni ang mga unhealthy sa tua. Pero again, dili pa sabot nga if mukaon mo unhealthy na siya. Depende sa kadaghan sa inyong kaunon. Unsaturated fats stay liquid at room temperature and are less likely to clog your arteries. So mas healthy gihapon ang unsaturated compared sa saturated fats. But again, the lesser you eat, the more it is okay. No, dili lang magpalabi og kaon. How much fat do you need? No, how much fat do you need? What's ni? It should be 20% to 35% of your total daily calories from fat. So ganina, 30% siya, but actually pwede ra mo sa 20 to 35%. Katulad po ako ilong. So saturated fats, manigikan. Gikan ni siya sa animal fats. Butter and coconut oil. Kabantay mo, if ibutang ganit ninyo nga mga oil somewhere cold, matulog na dayon ang oil, ang mantika. If magluto mo og baboy, unya gipakupsan ninyo ang oil pagkabuntag kay ng gahi. So imagine na if inyo na siya i-consume sa inyong lawas, dali ra siya mo gahi and may clog your arteries. While unsaturated fats, natay olive oil, we also have flax seeds oil, canola oil, cold water fish like salmon and mackerel, nuts and avocado. They are unsaturated fats. So they are healthy fat na pwede nyo kaunan in moderation gihapon. Okay? Pasabot, ginagmay lang. Dili pasabot nga healthy siya, magpalabi na pud mo kaon. No? Next is micronutrients. Unsa man ning micronutrients? Di ba ang macronutrients kinahanglan sa body in larger amounts. But micronutrients, these are vitamins and minerals. Micronutrients are the nutrients your body needs in smaller amounts, opposite siya sa macronutrients, which are commonly referred to as vitamins and minerals. Micronutrients often referred to these terms are vital to healthy development, disease prevention, and well-being. With the exception of vitamin D, no, again, with the exception of my vitamin D, micronutrients are not produced in the body and must be derived from the diet. So if wala mo yung mga vitamins and minerals, syempre, we need to eat properly to get them. Except for vitamin D. Ano except for vitamin D man? We are going to talk about it later. So, consuming the recommended amount is important. Kay dili pasabot nga vitamins and minerals siya magpalabi na pud mo kaon because again, if you're going to eat too much, sobra na pud siya. People only need small amounts of micronutrients. Consuming the recommended amount is important. Micronutrient deficiencies can have devastating consequences. At least half of children worldwide younger than 5 years of age suffer from vitamin and mineral deficiencies. Now, vitamins, ano naman to? Uh, vitamins are one of the main functions. One of its main function is to help release energy found in the food that you eat. No, vitamins help build protein and help your cells multiply. They make collagen, which help heal wounds, support blood vessel walls, and promote healthy bones and teeth. Vitamins keep your eyes, skin, lungs, digestive tract, and nervous system in good condition. They also help build your bones, protect your vision, and interact with each other to help your body absorb the vitamins it needs. So generally, they protect you. Hala, lobat ko. Oh my God. Wait for a while. I'm back. I'm back. Ano na ta? So generally, vitamins protect us or protect you against diseases. Now, minerals. Um, Minerals maintain the correct balance of water in your body. Now, they promote healthy bones and stabilize the protein structures that you get from the protein you eat, including those that make up your hair, skin, and nails. They also get the oxygen moving around your body. And minerals assist in your ability to taste and smell. So, the role of six essential micronutrients will be outlined here. So, we have iron, vitamin A, vitamin D, iodine, folate, and zinc. So, what is iron? Iron is critical for motor and cognitive development. Children and pregnant women are especially vulnerable to the consequences of iron deficiency. Iron deficiency is a leading cause of anemia, which is defined as low hemoglobin concentration. Now, anemia during pregnancy increases the risk of death for the mother and low birth weight for the infant. Babies fed only breast milk or only formula or a mix of breast milk and formula have different needs when it comes to iron. So, aha man ni makuha ang mga iron. Sa kuan ba, mga puthaw? No. Iron can be found from red meats, broccoli, dark chocolate, fruits, pumpkin seeds, tofu, whole grains, leafy greens, and legumes. Mo nila ilang ginaingon nga, if anemic ka, kana mo tindog kag kalit, kay malipong ra kag kalit, kalit ka tindog, lipong ka, anemic kuno ka. Tapos ang ilang i-suggest is magkaon og atay sa manok or atay sa baboy to help you with your iron deficiency, because if you are anemic you have iron deficiency, pero careful lang gihapon kay makasaka siya og uric acid. Next, vitamin A supports healthy eyesight and immune system functions, and children with vitamin A deficiency face an lain na gyud ko tilaok. Increased risk for blindness and death from infections such as measles and diarrhea. So globally, vitamin A deficiency ano to? Affects an estimated of 190 million preschool age children. Providing vitamin A supplements to children ages 6 to 5 months is highly effective in reducing deaths from all causes where vitamin A deficiency is a public concern. So ang vitamin A, we can get this from grapefruits, cod liver oil, butter, goat cheese, kale, sweet potatoes, spinach, beef liver, apricot, salmon, carrots, and all other things. Pero again, too much of everything is bad. Bisan pag vitamin A mo kuwang, magpalabi mo kaon, dili gyapon siya healthy. Next, we have vitamin D. Vitamin D builds strong bones by helping the body absorb calcium. Vitamin D deficiency causes bone disease, including rickets in children and osteomalacia in adults. Vitamin D helps the immune system resist bacteria and viruses. So if kulang-kulang ganin mo og vitamin D, syempre you will have low immune system. And that's why, itong sa itong mention kanina, vitamin D can be produced inside our body because our bodies make vitamin D from sunlight. Pero dili na po na pwede na mga alas siguro or alas 9 ang mga init taman sa hapon na mapainit mo, cancer na po yung makuha na, dili na vitamin D. So careful gihapon, okay? Next is iodine. Oh, napadi ay. So, man ta makakuha og vitamin D. We have caviar, okay, hilason, salmon, sardines, tuna, mushrooms, raw milk, eggs. So, makakuha ta og vitamin D sa ila. Next is the iodine. Iodine is required during pregnancy and infancy for the infant's health growth and cognitive development. Iodine content is in most foods and beverages is low. And the amount of iodine added to salt can be adjusted so that people maintain adequate iodine intake even if they consume less salt. No? Kay naman ko'y uban nga dili kayo himarat. Pero di pa pasabot nga kung himarat ka, healthy na ka. Kay it can also lead to urinary tract infection. Labi na og mapalabian ta og kanang parat. Ang mahitabo is naatay mga salt, no, nga for conservatives that is rich in iodine. No, na mga salt ngayong ana. I forgot the term of the salt, pero it is available here in the Philippines. Fortifying salt. Yeah, fortifying salt. You can also get iodine from sea vegetables. Some ni sea vegetables. Katong mga, sa gitawag ana, mga sea vegetables katong lato. Oh, lato. Lato, gusto, sa pamana. Kana mo na sila ang mga ginatawag nga sea vegetables. We have the beans, cranberries, strawberries, and potatoes. Taas siya og iodine content. Next is folate or folate. So everyone needs folate or vitamin B9 to make new cells every day. So kana pa lang diha nga statement daan, winner na. No? Kaya syempre, we all need cells. Our cells help our body function. Hatchingon ko. Excuse me. Abugad ri ay. Folate is essential in the earliest days of fetal growth for healthy development of the brain and spine. We can get folate from citrus fruits like oranges, calamansi. We have dark leafy greens, corns, broccoli, avocado, okra, beets, and others. No? Dagan kitang makuha sa utan. Utan pa lang alone and fruits, taas na siya og folate content. No? Next is zinc. Zinc promotes immune functions and helps people resist infectious infectious diseases including diarrhea, pneumonia, and malaria. The zinc is needed for healthy pregnancies, labi na og boros mo. Sa mga boros diha og naay plano maboros, palihog ko, please take good care of yourselves and choose a great partner. Providing zinc supplementation to children younger than 5 years appears to be highly cost effective. Kaya syempre, bata pala mo daan, taas na mo zinc. I mean, dili mo deficit of zinc, syempre you are healthy. Now, we can get zinc from soybeans, brown rice, spinach, lentils, wheat germ, and sunflower seeds. So, kato sila nga gipang mention ako, they are rich in zinc. That you can add to your diet. But syempre, mahal man yung brown rice, no? Lisod pa gilutoon kay taas sayag time, but it is good, no? Lami gid ang brown rice. Lahi ang red rice sa brown rice ha. Ang brown rice is mas dugay siya maluto kaysa sa white and red rice. Lentils, beans, dagan man ta ana, pwede ra na siya. Next is now we have the pre-workout window. So what is the pre-workout window? Meaning before the workout. No? How do we do this? In order for pre-workout window to work, or before the exercise, um, we should always remember that the aim in the pre-workout window is to maximize energy stores. No, you should eat based on your activity or sport, and some activities, because some activities will require you more energy to be consumed. Longer duration events will require more energy than short duration events. No, very important yun. Very generally recommended consume a meal approximately 1 to 4 hours before activity. So, mo gina mo ingon ko sa inyo ha nga, mamahaw gid mo before mo adto school. Kay labi nag estudyante pa mo, dagan mo baklay-baklay, dagan mo gabuhaton because it is very important. No? Importante kayo mamahaw ang students labi na if dagan maginabuhat. Eh syempre, if you don't have glycogen stores, kuwang-kuwang inyong ATP nga ma-release sa body, meaning wala kaayo mo'y energy. It is generally recommended to consume a meal approximately again 1 to 4 hours before activity. This meal should be composed of complex carbohydrates, some protein, again, some lang, and minimal fat. Consuming another snack about 30 to 60 minutes kung dato mo nang ginapadala kita mo og biscuit before the activity can further top up our energy. Pwede ra gid mo magdala og mga candy swelga klase ta. Okay ra gid na siya kay basin baya og need ninyo og energy. The focus here should be on simple carbohydrates which are easily digested. No? For example, 2 hours man natong klase. Siyempre, di man ingon nga inga nakahago gid atong klase katol gid kay akong ilong jot lang ha. Abog ayo diri eh. Abog lagi kayang office. Alcohol. Pula na kaya ko ilong. Ha. Okay, again, important kayo ang pre-workout window or pre-workout activity because diri aman siya kadili man na ingon nga if mukaon ka og candy karon or meal ninyo pamahaw mag-work na dayon na siya diretso. Dili man na siya bato ni Darna nga pagtulon ninyo may mo si Darna. Dili siya ingana. Di po siya sili nga mula og kalit, no? But it should be practiced. Meaning, sugod karon magkaon na gid mo og tarong. Kay next week, after sa atong quiz, I mean next week, after sa atong quiz, kay magsugod na ta sa ato ang mga activities. Okay? Mag-exercise na ta ninyo sugod. So, karon pa lang, pre-workout or pre-exercise or pre-activity window pa lang daan, nagkuha na mo og energy. Pero ayaw lang mo palabi, ha? Dapat ginagmay lang. Next is nutrition during exercise. Unsa man yung dapat buhaton while ga-exercise? Magkaon ba ta dapat? Nabatay angay usapon? Unsa man? No? Importante diri ang tubig. No, taking on certain foods and fluids during exercise will help to delay fatigue and other exercise-related physiological responses. Class, if gikapoy gani mo, unya, wala mo'y tulog, pagpahulay in tawon mo. Okay? So we already have a case. So bisan pag unsaon ninyo na kamaayo, unsa mo kamaayo nga estudyante, dapat i-consider gid pod ninyo ang inyong kaon o inyong rest. Kaya unsaon ta man ang successful na ligi kaayo mo, pero gamay na lang inyong adlaw nga nabilin, no? Dapat kabalo mo og huna-huna sa inyong kaugalingon. Dili man pasabot nga unahon ninyong kaugalingon, kayo nang ginailiwat inyong pamilya. Masabtan man na namo nga hardworking mo. But always remember, if you want to help your family more, you should know how to rest, no? Importante kayo ang rest. Kung gikapoy mo, dili po nang tinapulan lang, dili nga na. Kanang rest bitaw nga kanang klaro na kaayo kay ga lihok-lihok ninyong mata, kay wa na mo'y tulog, sige na mo kakuyapan. Kana siya class, you need to rest. Okay ra gid mo absent sa kuwaan na as long as pahulay mo ug magkaon mo. Okay? So, again, balik ta sa nutrition during exercise. Uh, again, this is taking on certain foods and fluids during exercise to help delay fatigue and other exercise-related physiological responses. For shorter duration events, the focus should be on consuming adequate water. Water lang ha. Pwede pod ta mo consume og Gatorade nga tag-as og electrolyte contents pero dili pod magpalabi. Carbohydrate beverages, electrolytes, and foods can be useful during longer durations of activity. Kato na ning mga tinag-as nga activities like tag 1 to 2 hours ng activities or exercises, kana siya. Chocolate bars will melt on a hot day and you may not have the capacity to peel an orange mid-race. So, importante gid kay ang pag-choose sa mga food. So, pag-choose food nga inyong pangkaunon during exercise. So, mas maayo tubig. Muna i-require gina kung tanan magdala og tubig. Next, post-workout nutrition or after the workout. So, what should you do after a workout? This window of time post-workout is usually important to help support recovery, no? Recovery and fuel your next training session. Ang recovery, it is an ongoing process that can take up to a couple of days. Meaning, ga-recover pa inyong lawas sa nahitabo nga exercise. Kasi syempre, if you're going to exercise, nakuhaan inyong glycogen stores, nakuhaan mo og energy. Na nga tear up ang muscles nga inyong gipanggamit sa pag-arsa-arsa, ibutang tanan nag-arsa-arsa mo. That's why you need to recover. Also, it is recommended that food first followed by recommended po siya labi na if mag-workout mo, labi na mag-arsa-arsa mo, to eat carbohydrates and protein after an exercise, mga 1 to 2 hours siguro after. Kay para ma-replenish ang mga nangawala nga fluid and energy sa tuang lawas. It is also very important to replenish lost fluids post-exercise, meaning mag-inom gid og daghang tubig after. Okay? Okay. Next, we have hydration. Drink your water. A. Dehydration by as little as 2% can impact performance in all activities. Siyempre, uhawon mo dali, dali mao ganyang tilaok, distracted mo, dili mo maka-perform og properly. Dehydration can lead to premature fatigue while also affecting decision making in sports setting. No, kay syempre, imagine na init kayo, wala pa gid mo tubig, wala mo inom-inom tubig. You think maka-focus pa kaha mo? No, kay dakong possibility mga kuyapan mo dira, magka-fatigue mo, magka-heat stroke mo simba ko palayo. If you lost a lot of water through sweat, consider using sports drink with electrolytes like mga ito Gatorade, mga ngana, to help replenish electrolyte lost during the exercise. No? Inom gitag tubig before, during, and after the exercise. Next, supplementation. Supplementation may be helpful in supporting additional performance. Again, may be helpful in supporting lang. Supporting additional performance benefits. But sabot ana, igo ra siya mo dungag sa already existing, depending on the chosen activity. Creatine, caffeine, and beta-alanine are all commonly used. Coffee, mga boosters, mga fruits. So carbohydrate-based electrolyte drinks, bars, and gels are all commonly used in longer duration or more endurance-based activities. Also, um, Anata, we have the summary. Your fueling strategy should be unique to you. Muna na atong giingon nga, we are all different. Dili mag-work sa kuha ang mag-work sa inyo, ha? Posible mag-work, pero di gid siya ingon nga mag-work. The fueling strategy required for a specific activity is dependent on number of factors such as the intensity and duration of the activity. Again, magdepende inyong fueling strategy or ang inyong mga pagkaon pre and post activity. Depende sa intensity or sa type of exercise ng inyong buhaton. You should utilize both short and longer term nutrition strategies to help support optimal performance. So dapat by now, aware na ta unsay mga dapat natong pambuhaton. But syempre, with my guidance, tinabangay ta. Also focus nutrition around activity including pre, intra or during, and post activity. And focus on food first, no? Dili pwede nga exercise nato atong unahon. Focus gid ta sa food nato per me. Kaya syempre, dili ta ka-exercise kung wala tay energy coming from the food. Also, supplements may be useful addition when foundations are correct. No? Kaning supplements para lang ni pangtabang sa already existing na nga naa sa atoa. Okay? I guess these are our references. Dagandagan siya. So this is only lesson 1. Taas-taas gid to ang lesson 1. And I would like to remind everyone that after this one, we still have lesson 2 and 3. But gamay nila ang lesson 2 and 3. Iusaran ako sila sa isa ka video. Okay? After lesson 2 and 3, karon nga week, which is sa tanga week karon, I forgot. Karon nga week, after this one, puro naman ta discussion. Next week, we will have our quiz. And our quiz, I will be giving this to your president. And at the back of this, there is a grading sheet. I mean, Zip grade sheet. Katong kolorana ninyo. I mean, shadeanan. So, you should photocopy it or pwede mo mag-print sa inyong balay. And if wala mo yung ato sa quiz, dili mo maka-quiz. Okay? Importante kaayo to siya. So taas-taas atong quiz, we will have a 50-item quiz. So I hope you are going to read this as well. Together sa atuang discussion diri. Okay? Thank you so much and see you on the next video. Bye. Stop share. End.